Tuesday, February 15th, 2022, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So today we're going to look at how the globalists are very desperate. It seems the only strategy they have left is bullying other nations, provoking them into a major conflagration or war. And why is that? Well, because they've run out of everything. They're running out of credit. They're running out of domestic support. So the only thing they still have that is relatively valuable is their armed forces, their weapons. So they're trying to push Russia into a war. And that has everything to do, of course, as well with the central banking fiat currency system. As I said, they're on their last legs. They're running out of credit. That's what the rising yields mean. That's what the inflation or the rising prices mean. People don't trust their paper anymore. I saw yesterday that used car prices are continuing to rise in the US. I saw that the same thing is happening in the UK. And what's that got to do with what I'm talking about? Well, a few years ago in Argentina, when they had one of their bouts of hyperinflation or very high inflation, people that had some wealth were buying luxury cars like Range Rovers and other SUVs. Of course, in the case of the US and the UK now, with the used cars, it's slightly different. But I always remember that there's an old saying about buying a new car, that once you drive off the dealership with it, at least here in the UK, you lose 20% of its value because of the VAT. But now it's going the other way. Used cars are going up. And I think that's a symptom of loss of confidence in the currency. And people are starting to realize that everything is going up. And what that really means is that the currency is going down. And why is that? Well, listen to the video I made yesterday about hyperinflation, loss of confidence in the currency. What I think is happening geopolitically, though, right now is going to fail miserably for the West, for the Anglo-American empire. It seems to be the US and the UK that are pushing for this conflict with Russia over some separatists region in the Ukraine. They've had problems there since 2014 after the Obama instigated coup of an elected government in the Ukraine. So for some reason now, the West is building up this new crisis in the Ukraine. And I'm not saying things in those regions in Donbass and Donetsk, Lugansk, eastern Ukraine are good, but this is just really ridiculous, it seems. We have this foreign secretary of the UK, Truss, just saying this morning, Russian invasion of Ukraine could be imminent, UK's Truss says. And we have the president of the Ukraine saying, no, Russia is not going to invade the Ukraine. We haven't seen anything pointing to that, and the Russians are saying the same thing. Well, unfortunately, I think what the West is going to do, they're going to use a tactic that they've used for centuries, probably, and that's called the false flag operation. Yes, they've been saying that the Russians are going to use that, but I think it's going to be the other way around. But I think President Putin is not going to buy into it. I think he's very patient, and he's not stupid at all. And as I said, it's going to fail miserably. It's going to be even worse. And when that happens, and we don't get a war, some of you might think, well, gold is going to go back down. No, I think gold is going to fly. And why is that? Well, because this is the globalists' last stand. They had to run away from Afghanistan last year in disgrace. Both the US and the UK really botched up operation, and now they're trying to impose their dominance over a part of the world they're not even near. Here in the UK, we're thousands of miles away from the Ukraine. We can't even stop migrants coming onto our shores in dinghies. And we think we can fight a war in the Ukraine. It's just totally ridiculous. But as I said, it's just a symptom of a falling empire. And underneath it all, it's the credit, the faith and confidence in the currency is waning very quickly now. Even the mainstream media, this guy, what's his name, Jon Stewart, talking to an ex-Fed president, Kansas City Fed president, they mentioned that the system we have now, the ex-Fed president Honig, I think Thomas Honig said,
how much currency that has been sort of created out of thin air has been added into this economy through the Fed? What would you put as a figure? Would it be 6 trillion? Is that too much?
It would be, 6 trillion in terms of deposits with the banks and currency. Be 6 to 7 trillion.
Okay. That they're just injecting into it sort of out of nothing.
Out of nothing. They're the central bank of the United States. Now, think about it. It's just another form of government debt. Am I making sense?
It makes sense in the make-believe world of Conjuring. Like, there is a certain part of this that all feels like a mirage to some extent. Do you know what I mean? It all seems sort of fake.
Well, it's a fiduciary system. It's all faith-based, right?
Oh, my Lord.
Yes, you got to have confidence in that currency, in that dollar, because there's nothing backing. There's no gold backing.
So it's in some ways, it's a mass delusion.
Well,
yes, the dollar is backed by nothing. It's basically fake. He said there's nothing backing it like gold. So that's even coming out in the mainstream. So, and even if we weren't having this major geopolitical crisis, and I do this because I think they're trying to drum up a crisis. They're starting to fear that their health crisis is like people don't buy it anymore, so they have to come up with something else. They could, of course, come up with another false flag. We know the World Economic Forum organized a cyber polygon last summer, and that's the cyber pandemic. They could blame the Russians for it, of course. So there's a lot going on there. So that's why I'm comfortable more than ever in holding on to my physical gold and silver. Of course, they are generational ways of saving. Yes, they might be exchanged for assets that are undervalued along the way, and that's definitely something people need to look into. Should you be chasing the price of gold right now? Well, I think the most important thing for stackers of gold and silver is to buy it regularly, do a dollar cost average kind of strategy. So with that, let's quickly look at where the markets are this morning. It's 8:45 a.m. London time. We've got spot gold actually being sold off in the last 10-15 minutes. When I started recording this presentation, we were trading around 1870. Right now we're at 1860.80, so down about $10. The high though has been 1880, which broke through the high of November last year. So we're coming back off here. A little bit of volatility. Yesterday we continued to see gold and silver trade up. Silver has been up as high as 24. And right now we're right near the lows at 23.55. It's down 28 cents. To the stock market, Dow futures is up 300, just under 1%. The NASDAQ is up 200 points, or 1.5%. The S&P 500 is up 1%, and the FTSE is up 0.75%. To the currencies, so we got sterling up a quarter at 135.60. We got the euro up 0.33%, 113.50. And we've got the dollar unchanged versus the yen at 115.58. Dollar's down 0.1% versus the yuan at 635.09. Aussie dollar is up 0.33% at 71.50, and the US dollar is down 0.1% versus the Canadian dollar, 127.13. The Kiwi dollar is up 0.4% at 66.43. To the general commodities, we got WTI crude down just over 2% at 91.70. We've got high-grade copper up 0.2% at 453.76, and we got U.S. nat gas up almost 4% at 432. So I just seen a headline here, came out about 5 minutes ago, and it says, from Bloomberg, it says, Russia's defense ministry announces the start of a pullback of some forces. Interfax says. So I don't know what's going on right now, and I'm not sure what the West or how the West will react to this. The situation's still uncertain. And now to the bond market, the 10-year yield. Well, that's up 5 basis points at 2.04%. And we're continuing to see also the shorter end of the curve rally quite a bit. Yesterday, they rallied in terms of yields more than the longer end. So the curve is continuing to flatten, which is a bad sign for the economy. So, yes, things are not really smooth out there, either economically, financially, monetarily, socially, geopolitically. There's a lot of accidents could happen, I think. So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.